Hello, I'm Dmitry Dimov, co-founder and product chief of Swivel. Swivel is a website for people to upload and explore data. Our mission at Swivel is to liberate the world's data and make it useful so that new insights can be discovered and shared. The web has done miracles for text, images, and videos. What about data? Let's put the web to the data test. Recently, there's been a lot of news about foreclosures and subprime rates and bankruptcies. Let's do a quick search on bankruptcies. There's about 1,130,000 results for bankruptcy stats. And let's go ahead and click on the top one, which is bankruptcy statistics from the uscourts.gov. There's lots of different types of statistics. Let's go ahead and look at the trend by year. When we click on the link, what we realize is that the data is actually a scanned paper document, crooked. This is not an isolated incident. This is the state of data on the web today. At Swivel, we believe that half the internet is missing. The half that deals with text, photos, and videos has been pretty well taken care of. But the half that deals with the world's most important data has been completely neglected. Let's look at the same data at Swivel. After some more searching, we found the data in a spreadsheet, so I went ahead and uploaded it into Swivel using simple cut and paste. When data comes to Swivel, it comes to life. You see the table, but you also see some graphs that give you a quick sense for what the data is about. You can also see some summary statistics about bankruptcy filings. Let's go ahead and explore the data and click into the bankruptcy filings graph. The bankruptcy filings have been going up dramatically. Why would that be? Let's compare the data with foreclosures. So here, I took the original data on bankruptcy filings. I searched for subprime foreclosures and simply dropped that trend on the graph. As you can see, both of them have been rising steadily. Now you can argue about which one is the cause or the effect, or whether there's a third reason for both of these to go up. Let's look some more at the mortgage data. This graph shows delinquent loans across the United States by state towards the end of the last year. We can play with the graph and sort it by lowest, so we can see that Hawaii is relatively okay, but Mississippi and Louisiana aren't doing so well. There's also different ways of looking at that data. For example, here's the tag cloud that sizes the states according to the delinquent loan percentage. We can also drop the data on the map. So here, right away, we can see some interesting things. We can say that the Great Lakes area and the area affected by Katrina are the worst off in terms of delinquent loans. Now let's look at another interesting comparison now with bankruptcy filings and the savings rates. The dark blue line shows the United States net savings rates. So while the bankruptcies have been going up, the savings rates in the United States have been going steadily down. Where did this savings data come from? Well, I know where the bankruptcy data came from. I found it on the government site, and I cut and pasted it into Swivel and uploaded myself. Well, the household net savings data came from OECD. OECD is the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development. They are one of the largest official data providers in the world. When developed countries have significant problems to solve, they come to OECD for advice and for data. OECD is a founding member of our official source program, which means that all the data that you see under that name came directly from OECD. Swivel and OECD share the same philosophy when it comes to data. Data is most valuable when it's out in the open, available for debate by anyone. For example, take this blogger. In his blog, he posted a graph of Apple stock price compared with the iPods sold. Now, this is not just a dead screenshot of an Excel chart. You can actually click into the graph and see the data for yourself. When you click on the graph, you'll end up on Swivel, and you'll see the graph, and you'll see graph controls. You can change how data is presented. You'll also see the legend, where if you click into it, you'll discover that the Apple stock price data came from Yahoo Finance, and the iPod sales data came from Wikipedia. Most importantly, you'll see a discussion thread around the graph. So people offer their opinions on why the correlation. This is the part where we think the wisdom generated by the crowds can be captured and new insights can be discovered and shared. At Swivel, we also believe that data can be fun. For example, you can add a little flavor to this graph by dropping a photo of an iPod on it using a couple of clicks. Now it's obvious that this data is about iPods. Again, with a single click, you can send an email to friends or colleagues sharing this discovery, so to say. Or if you have a website, or if you publish a website or a blog, you can embed the graph as easily as you can embed a photo or a YouTube video. And once again, when readers click on the graph, they'll end up back on Swivel where they can explore the data, see the sources, and see all the discussion around the graph. So far, all the data that you've seen is public. We're working on the private edition, which will allow companies and small businesses and individuals to upload data and keep it private, while still being able to compare it to all the public data out there on Swivel. For example, if you're a manager at Microsoft responsible for Zune player sales, then you might be interested to compare the sales to the iPod sales, but you'll want to keep the results to yourself. Now, we talked about data from individual users uploaded via cut and paste or file upload. We talked about data from organizations such as OECD. Now let's talk about data from a refrigerator. What you can see here is the graph of watts over time from a refrigerator. So a user outfitted the refrigerator with a sensor, and they're feeding the data from the sensor into Swivel. What you can clearly see is the cycles of the thermostat, and the spikes here are probably where the kids left the door open. We're working on an API that will allow refrigerators or people or applications to feed data into Swivel very easily and create graphs and make it available for others. Also, what you'll find at Swivel is all the data that you see is easily available for download. In this case, if I look at the table view, I can see the link to the download for this data. Let's talk about Al Gore. In his Oscar-winning movie, An Inconvenient Truth, Al Gore presented climate data. He said that this was the first time the world had seen the data. What he did not mention was that it was also the last. We looked everywhere on the web. We looked on the movie site, on the climate crisis site. We just cannot find the data. If you know Al Gore, please ask him, where's your data? As I said in the beginning, half the internet is missing. Our mission at Swivel is to liberate the world's data, make it useful so that new insights can be discovered and shared. If you're a curious individual, come to Swivel, explore data, partake in the discussion. If you have your own data to upload, go ahead and try it. If you're an organization publishing data, talk to us and we'll be happy to make you an official source. So you can join the likes of OECD, World Bank, IMF, UNESCO, World Almanac, and many others. And if you're a company wanting to upload private data, watch Swivel for the private edition. Thank you.